For 15 years, Goldie Hawn's absence from the Hollywood spotlight sparked endless curiosity. Fans wondered where she had gone, journalists speculated about hidden conflicts, and the entertainment world treated her disappearance like an unsolved mystery. Then, in a rare and deeply honest moment on the Oscar stage this past March, Goldie finally offered the simplest explanation with 5 powerful words: "I had to save my life." It wasn't dramatic, it wasn't scripted, and it wasn't meant for headlines. It was a quiet confession of survival. Behind that sentence was not scandal, but something far more human. A woman choosing herself, stepping away from an industry that often consumes its brightest stars, and reclaiming peace after decades of pressure, expectation, and relentless public definition. Childhood shaped by joy and unspoken loss. Before Hollywood ever knew her name, Goldie was simply a little girl dancing in her mother's studio, surrounded by music, movement, and dreams. Born on November 21st, 1945, in Washington, D.C., she grew up in a home filled with artistic rhythm. Her father, Edward Rutledge Hawn, was a talented musician with deep historical roots, while her mother, Laura Steinhoff, carried grace and discipline as a dance instructor. Yet beneath the warmth of their household was a quiet grief that was never fully spoken aloud. Goldie and her sister Patty had once had an older brother who passed away before Patty was born. The absence was present, even in silence, shaping Goldie's sensitivity to life's fragility. That early awareness of loss planted something profound inside her, a drive to create joy, to bring light into the world, and to never take happiness for granted. Discovering a voice through movement, Goldie's love for performance began almost as early as she could walk. By the age of 3, she was already dancing in her mother's studio, finding in movement a language that felt natural and freeing. Dance became her first form of storytelling, a way to express emotion without words. By 10, her talent was undeniable, earning her a role in The Nutcracker with the prestigious Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo. Even as a child, she carried both discipline and ambition, not just charm. At 19, she paused her studies at American University to open and teach at her own ballet school, an extraordinary decision that revealed her independence and leadership long before Hollywood ever came calling. She was not simply waiting for opportunity, she was creating it. A leap of faith toward California. At 21, Goldie made a decision that would change everything. With only a few dollars, a tiny poodle, and a fierce belief in possibility, she drove west toward California. She hoped to perform at the Melodyland Theatre near Disneyland, chasing a dream bigger than anything she had known. But the journey almost ended before it began when her car broke down in the Mojave Desert, leaving her stranded with only $50. In a moment of vulnerability and courage, she trusted a passing stranger, a Green Beret recently returned from Vietnam, who helped guide her safely to her destination. That moment reflected something that would define Goldie's life: her willingness to take risks, trust her instincts, and keep moving forward even when fear whispered otherwise. Hollywood's first attempt to define her. When Goldie entered the entertainment world, Hollywood embraced her quickly, but not always fairly. Television brought her early recognition through shows like Good Morning World and later the wildly popular Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. Audiences adored her radiant smile, playful humor, and infectious energy. But the industry often reduced her to a stereotype: the bubbly blonde, the giggling girl, the light-hearted distraction. Few saw the intelligence, ambition, and discipline beneath the surface. Goldie understood early that Hollywood loved packaging women into neat categories, and she quietly prepared herself to break free from that limitation. The breakthrough that changed everything. Goldie's true breakthrough arrived with Cactus Flower in 1969. Her performance as Toni Simmons revealed depth, vulnerability, and strength far beyond the roles she had been offered before. Critics and audiences were captivated, and the film became one of the year's biggest successes. Then came the moment that changed her life forever: an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. In an almost surreal twist, Goldie was asleep in London when she received the news by phone, while Raquel Welch accepted the award on her behalf. It was a reminder that her talent could not be contained or dismissed. She was no longer a stereotype, she was a force, becoming more than an actress. As her career flourished, Goldie refused to simply accept what Hollywood handed her. She wanted control, substance, and stories that reflected women with complexity. That determination reached its peak with Private Benjamin in 1980. Studio executives doubted. A female-led army comedy could succeed, but Goldie believed in the project so strongly that she stepped into the role of producer. She fought for the story, shaped its creative direction, and proved everyone wrong when the film became a cultural phenomenon. The success cemented her not just as a star, but as a powerhouse capable of shaping her own narrative. Her spirit could be summarized in one unshakable attitude: don't tell me I can't, just watch me. A golden era of authentic stardom. The 1980s became Goldie's era of unstoppable success. Films like Overboard, Bird on a Wire, and Swing Shift showcased her rare ability to balance humour, emotion, and strength. She wasn't just funny, she was deeply human. Her performances carried warmth and intelligence, making audiences feel like they were watching someone real, not a manufactured celebrity. Over time, her films earned billions in today's value, proving her lasting appeal. But what made her extraordinary wasn't just box office success, it was authenticity. Goldie made people feel something, and that is why she endured. Championing women through collaboration. Goldie's influence extended beyond her own career. In 1996, she played a key role in bringing the First Wives Club to life, alongside Diane Keaton and Bette Midler. The film celebrated female empowerment, friendship, and resilience. Goldie also helped establish an unprecedented pact among the actresses. No one would outshine the other, and the story would belong to all of them equally. That spirit of solidarity was rare in an industry built on competition. The film became a global success and remains a powerful example of women supporting women, both on and off screen. Love, family, and personal trials. Behind the glamour, Goldie faced personal challenges that shaped her deeply. 2 marriages tested her resilience, including her relationship with musician Bill Hudson, with whom she had 2 children, Oliver and Kate. The pressures of fame and differing paths eventually led to separation, but Goldie remained steadfast in her devotion to her children. She carried herself with strength, choosing growth over bitterness and focusing on building a life rooted in love rather than public perfection. The enduring partnership with Kurt Russell. The most enduring chapter of Goldie's personal life began with Kurt Russell. Though they first met in 1968, their true connection blossomed 15 years later on the set of Swing Shift. What drew Goldie to Kurt wasn't Hollywood charm, but his kindness toward her children. Their relationship unfolded with humour, spontaneity, and deep respect. They chose never to marry, believing that love was something renewed daily, not defined by contracts. Together they built a blended family anchored in joy, trust, and enduring commitment. Walking away to save herself. Goldie's 15-year retreat from Hollywood was never about fading away. It was about survival. The industry can be relentless, and even the brightest stars can lose themselves in its demands. Goldie stepped back not because she lacked passion, but because she needed peace. Her Oscar stage confession was not a dramatic reveal, but a simple truth. She had to protect her life, her health, her spirit. Sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is walk away, even from success, to reclaim themselves. A legacy of strength, joy, and resilience. Goldie Hawn's story is not just about fame, films, or awards. It is about courage, self-respect, and the quiet strength of choosing what truly matters. From a dancing child in Washington, D.C., to an Oscar-winning actress and producer, she transformed obstacles into triumphs while remaining grounded in love and authenticity. Her legacy lives not only in the laughter she brought to screens, but in the example she set, that joy is powerful, resilience is sacred, and saving yourself is sometimes the greatest achievement of all.